Hello, juniors. Welcome to the final week of Computer Systems and Programming. I'm AJ here. I just want to congratulate you for getting this far in the course. And for this final week, you'll find that there's kind of a few ways you can approach your final assignment. And I would encourage you to consider, no matter how you approach it, you will learn more about code this week. However, the more you challenge yourself and try to do it on your own, the more you're going to learn about code. After this week, you're basically done with code as far as we're concerned. However, next year you'll have the opportunity to do senior capstone, in which you could take on code some more. And of course, you could go into computer science or some career path that includes code in your future. So with that, I will give the floor over to Michael, and he will finish out the course with you. Again, congratulations, and keep working this last week.
Hello juniors, and welcome back. For this week, we're going to continue working on our final project. We're on the last week, like AJ said, and no matter how you do this, you will learn the code, and you will feel stronger, or not just in Python, but in coding in general. So for this week, we're going to be working on actual code, like we're actually going to be writing the code for our program. So we're going to take that pseudocode that we wrote and analyze that and turn it into a solid program that Python as a program can understand and then run. So due this Sunday is going to be a code, which is going to be the .py file that you'll turn in on Canvas, and then a weekly quiz, which is just a survey to see how you're doing in the course and give a little reflection about the course as a whole. So let's walk through Canvas. So if we go to Canvas, we see the Start Here video, which is what you're watching currently. The next thing is the final project submission. So in here, you'll submit the .py file that you've been working on. And then under it, you'll notice that there's the drills to .py. If we go into it, we can look at what this actually is and look at the code. So while you were writing it, you might have noticed what these different functions and lines of code were doing, and might have pieced together that altogether they are actually the final project that we're working on. With that being said, we would like you to challenge yourself and with your pseudocode, try to write up the code as you would see it. And if you're struggling or don't know how to do a certain part, you can look at this to get like some guidance. So this should help you throughout that. And I'll just go through what all of these different functions do and what the different chunks of lines in the code do. So the first function, which I did for an example, was the print items. So it took in these parameters here, these 4 parameters, and then it printed out this. First it printed the item total, then it had a while loop that went through all the items in the list, and it printed the name of the item, a space, and then the cost of an item. So this is basically the final step in the program. This will be called, and then that prints out sort of like a receipt, and then it prints the total and the total number, like the price of it. So then the next one that we define is the tax function. This function takes in the total and the tax, and it adds the tax to it. So tax is a percentage, so you take the number of tax, which is around 5%, divided by 100, which is 0.5, and then multiplies by the total and adds that to the total, and that returns the new total, which is what you'll be printing out with tax. The next one is the total items. So this goes through the list of the costs of the items and then adds all of those together to get your total without tax. The one below that is the function for inputting the item name. So it prints this statement, what is the name of the item, and then the person running the code enters the name of the item, and then it returns that name as a variable. Next one is inputting the cost. It's the exact same as the name, only it's inputting a number, and then that will be correlated in the list. So then this is part of the actual code that will then use those functions that we defined above. So this is asking you how many items you're gonna you have. So if your shopping cart has 5 items, then you'll answer 5, and then each time the loop goes through, it'll go through 5 times, so you can input 5 items. The tax number it prompts you to give a number for how much tax it is, and then it'll input that for you to add to the tax. And then these two define empty lists, depending on how many items you have. So this will have a name list, all the names, and this one will have all of the costs. And then those correlate together, so there'll be 1 in name is the same as 1 in cost, and those 2 items correlate.